Okay, we're gonna go ahead and do the explanation videos for A Little Country and Taking Lives. Yeah, well, I can finally say it. See, with a couple of them ass videos, the lessons, they either went in tandem to show something cool, or they had some cool timings and some cool integrations. And well, not these songs, these simple songs. I can say it this time. These just good old simple songs. Get that kind of lesson here. Beauty and simplicity. Not much go on, but yeah, we get to see the simple things. Yep, this first one. Yep, key of A to key of E. All dependent on whether we got the D note going or the D sharp note going. And well, we start out on the key of E, or the key of D, the key of A or E. Start out the key of A with that D note in there, no D sharp. We got that D note in the E7th chord. So we're gonna bounce that bounce an E chord, bump to an E7th chord. You hear that? E, bump, E7. So that's an A chord right there. Bump, D7. I'm sorry, bump E7, which has a D note in it. But yeah, bump E7, A, which just bumps. E7 and A just bumps. E7 and A. Alright, I had my fun. And then we, of course, have our little lead line. I wouldn't use the note. And that is going to be E, G, D, or I'm sorry, E, G sharp, D, G sharp. And then you go to the high E, and we do that 3 feel. High E, D, G sharp, E, D, G sharp. Oh, yeah. E, G sharp, D, G sharp, E, D, G sharp, E, D sharp, E, D, G sharp. There we go. We have A, it's the same thing. Using the note out of the A chord. First we use notes out of the E7. Now we're gonna use A. So E, A, C sharp, A, high E, C sharp A, high E, C sharp A, and just back and forth. E, G sharp, D, G sharp, E, D, G sharp, E, D, G sharp, E, A, C sharp, A, E, C sharp, A, E, C sharp, A, just back and forth. Eventually we'll come across the chorus, which is going to be a B7th suspended 4th chord to a B7th chord to an A chord to an E chord. And lead following it is going to be off that B7th suspended 4th, E, A, F sharp, E, A, E, A, F sharp, E, A, F sharp. This is where the D sharp comes in. D sharp, A, F sharp, D sharp, A, F sharp. Now we got the A chord. C sharp, A, E, C sharp, A, E, and now our E chord. B, G sharp, E, B, E sharp, B, G sharp, E, B, G sharp, E. Okay, just that 2 times. And you see where the D sharp comes in. Make sure whenever you're playing this, whenever you're doing your transitions, I mean, just get your notes to where you get that E note and that A note ringing out right there. This will be an easy transition right here. Same with that A chord. Get that C sharp and that A note ringing out together. E note will fall in place. Things to be aware of. Alright, next easy song. E, B, E, B, E, G, A, B, A, G, F sharp. Very easy. The song has some nice movement, nice sound. I've memorized it over the years, kept it, so it's just sometimes you find beauty in simplicity, and hey, this isn't going to advance you too much. It's just decent. Applying 7th chords to get the country feel, it's at least something. That's kind of like applying the 1 5 1 6 1 flat 7th 1 6 to get the blues scale. It's just and those 7th chords will work good in blues also. And in you find ways to use them. I just say that much. You find. It's just 7th chord country, 7th chords blues. And 1 5 1 6 1 flat 7 1 6 blues. Things like that. Easy go-tos. They're just easy go-tos. How can you not work something out of it? How can you not play with it and invent? If something comes to you and you memorize it, well, that's not a bad thing. It just shows, your preference. That's all. Well, I kept these 2 over the years. And again, E, B, E, B, E, G, A, B, A, G, F sharp. Chords are simple too. Now we got our first F sharp note here. We got our first sharp showing, but our other sharp's not going to show to the last chord. Our chord part, E minor, G, D, and it's going to be D to D suspended 4th to D, and A suspended 4th to A, and our A chord is where our C sharp note shows up. So this is how we know this song's in the key of D. Once that C sharp note shows up, we've got everything. Again, we just simple, easy. Alright, since this lesson's so simple, I'll throw you a bonus one. I wasn't even going to do this one. It's just so simple, but we might as well. It'd just be one more simple one. Alright, key of G. Start with the E minor chord. We're gonna do this 4 beats. E minor, G, D, and what it's doing there is D. That's a whole beat. D suspended second to D is going to be the 4 and. So 3, 4 and 3 and 4 and. So hold the D throughout the 3. 4 is going to be D and 4 is going to be the D suspended second, and is going to be the right back to D. There we go. Okay, again, E minor. Very slow tempo if we're counting. Boom, 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 boom. Very slow tempo. Just on the beat. E fifth. E fifth to your minor, but just 3 notes out of the minor. 1, 2, 3 E minor. On the 12th to get the E minor harmonic. Strings 1 through 3 again. 12th fret harmonic. Back to that E minor off just open notes. 1, 2, 3 string. Open notes. That little bounce thing I was doing was just a D fifth to an E fifth at the end there. G. Now this is going to be the easier on an electric guitar. I don't practice this one, so it's hard for me to get these harmonics. This is not something I'm used to doing. But you're trying to get the... There we go. 5th fret, produce your G chord right there. Harmonics. There it is. Now the 7th fret, this is going to be your 2 through 4 string, your high 2 through your 4th string on the 7th fret. That's going to produce a D chord harmonic. So 5th fret, 2 through 5. G chord, 7th fret, strings 2 through, I'm sorry, not 2 through 5, 2 through 4, strings 2 through 4, 7th fret, G chord type harmonic, G chord type harmonic, 5th fret, strings 2 through 4. Again, 7th fret, getting you that D chord, G chord, D chord, and then just the suspended second to the D, E minor again. I'm gonna do the. This would be like 2 different guitar parts. If you and another guitarist could switch off between the rhythm and the harmonic part, like this is something you could have fun with for about 5 minutes probably. It's just so simple. Like, you could build off of these things, but they are simple concepts. They were not built for anything more. I kept them simple. And just a couple go-tos whenever it comes to simplicity. A couple of good examples whenever it comes to simplicity. That's going to be the third one, I guess. Again, E minor. Alright, that's just deep at the E fest. Tertiary part, there we go. That main part, you're going back and forth, like I'm saying, if you have another guitar. Chord part, rhythm part, basically. And then that harmonic part, which is just basically on every beat. Just on every beat. And, well, that's going to kind of do it for this lesson. I mean, this is the second song, of course, in key of G. You got that 1 F sharp, sharp showing up. You're in the key of G. Well, I'm going to kind of do it for this lesson. This is a simplicity or beauty and simplicity lesson. We probably won't have too many more of these. I can think of one more, but it kind of does something interesting. We have a couple other simplest songs, but most of everything else we'll have a better lesson to it. Something more with the theory. And, well, we'll get to one more simpler one soon. One more that, well, shows how much one single alt added to something can, well, make for, well, quite interesting. But for this one, yeah, beauty and simplicity. Hope you enjoyed. Sorry it was an easy lesson. Nothing much to it, but again, I hope it shows that, you know, it is okay and it is good to hear some simple songs. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. Exploration and creativity are always going to be a good thing. Alright, thank you as always, and, well, we do another one soon, I promise.